Okay, at the risk of getting boring, I'm going to talk about this PRS guitar, this NF3, but in particular the pickups. So if you've seen other videos of mine, you probably will know that I quite like this guitar, and it's just the one that I compare all these other guitars to. I got this one quite recently, single cut, lovely guitar, PRS, really good. And I've had other guitars since I bought this, but that single cut just is struggling to work as well for me as this one does. Very different guitar, but it's struggling. It's a great guitar, and other guitars do as well. Anyway, enough about that. So I wanted to talk about the pickups. These pickups are called Narrowfields, and they're pickups that PRS developed. I can't remember which model it was for. It wasn't the NF3, which is this. It was just before. There was another guitar they developed them for, I think. And then they made a guitar, this one, the NF3, around these pickups. It's called an NF3, and these are Narrowfield pickups, and there's 3 of them. So this guitar was made as a vehicle for these pickups, as far as I can tell. And these are humbuckers, but because they're narrow, they have a slightly different sound to normal humbuckers, and I'll do some comparisons with the PRS actually there that I just showed you, because that's got standard 8515 PRS humbuckers, and these are really small versions of those, kind of. Different kind of guitar, because it's got a bolt-on neck and maple fretboard. But anyway, I'll do some comparisons. But these, I think, are humbuckers for people that don't really like humbuckers, which is kind of me. You know, I'm not really into humbuckers. I've got a Gibson I've had for years, which has got humbuckers, and I do like that guitar. But generally, most of the guitars I play now have single coils, and I prefer the single coil sound. I just like the clarity and the attack you get with the single coils. So, you know, my favourite guitars generally, apart from this one, are teles or Telecaster type guitars. So I like single coils, but these are just brilliant pickups. They're so good, these Narrowfields, because they give you the benefits of a humbucker. So they're quite good for rock kind of stuff, which single coils aren't so good for. You can even do kind of metal sort of stuff on them. Probably not as well as you can on the 8515s on that single cut. Well, definitely not as well as that, but they do a good kind of metal sound, do a good rock sound, classic rock, brilliant for. But they also do like a single coil sound. And even though they're not single coils and there's no coil tapping or anything, you just use the volume control, turn the volume down. If you turn it down a little bit, you get kind of a P90 sound, and if you turn it down quite a long way to like down to about 6, you get a really kind of well, I think quite authentic sounding single coil sound. Maybe not, it's not an exact single coil sound, but it's really close. And it doesn't, the whole point about that is it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I turn the volume down on this guitar to get a kind of a Strat sound, and it sounds to me similar to a Strat, and I'm going for a Strat sound, but I want to keep this guitar on, then it doesn't matter if it's not exactly the same as a Strat. It's that kind of sound that I'm trying to get. It doesn't really matter if it's not identical to a Fender Strat, I don't think, because I'm just trying to get that sort of sound. It's a really good sound in its own right, but it's maybe not exactly the same as a Fender Strat. But it isn't. But it's very close, and it's that kind of sound. In some situations, it's better. It really is. You know, having that slightly thicker sound, but with the Strat kind of quack that you can get on the in-between settings. This guitar does that really well, I think, and it's sometimes that fatter sound it can be good. Hasn't got any of the thinness that a Strat has in terms of the tone that a Strat can have, especially on the bridge pickup. But yeah, I think these are just brilliant pickups, and it's not just me that thinks that. If you read up on Narrowfield pickups, especially on this guitar, see what people think of them. They're just, everything people say about them is true. They're amazing pickups. So yeah, I'll do some demos of it now. I've done lots of demos of this guitar, but I'm gonna plug it in and just show you what I mean about the sounds that you can get out of this. And I'm going to compare it to the single cut with the 8515s. and I'll maybe compare it to some other guitars as well, maybe compare it to some single coils. Okay, so I'll do that now. Okay, hopefully you can hear what I'm talking about with these pickups. I just had it plugged into the Strymon Iridium. Didn't use anything else other than some reverb. So it's just the Strymon sound really. But you can hear hopefully that they're incredibly versatile, and for the rock sort of stuff, the heavier sound, the kind of Marshall sort of sound on the Iridium, they're not really as good for rock stuff as the 8515 pickups, or not. I'm comparing two quite different guitars. This has got a glued neck and a rosewood fingerboard, and it's kind of a heavier bit of wood, different bit of wood as well. That'd be mahogany on that one, whereas this one is Carina, I think that's what they use for these. So different woods, but and different constructions. So it's going to have an effect. But hopefully you could hear how much the pickups are affecting the sound. And these come pretty close. But what that guitar won't do is that kind of Fendery sound. With the coil taps, it does do a good sort of thin single coil sound, but it doesn't really sound like a Fender. It's just a good sound in its own right. This will get very close to the sound of a Strat. Anyway, I've probably said enough about it, but I'm sure I'll be on here soon making more videos about this. I really want to try one of the SE versions of these guitars. This one's a Core model. This is from 2011, I think, this one. And more recently, probably a couple of years ago, they started making an SE version of these, sort of a bit more affordable. They don't make this one anymore. They only made these for a couple of years, I think. But the SE version with Narrowfields, I don't think they're exactly the same as these pickups, but they are the SE version, and they're meant to be very good. I really want to try one of those, and if I get a hold of one, I'll compare it to this. If anyone's got one and they live anywhere near me, Suffolk in UK, and you want me to have a quick blast on it on here and compare it to this, I'd love to do it. I don't really want to buy one just to do that, because I doubt whether I'll like it as much as this guitar. But who knows, we'll see. Okay, thanks for watching. Please click like if you like this one. Thanks.